Hey there, I'm Joe Dickerson with the Joe Dickerson Group at Keller Williams Realty in Oakland, California. We have a passion for helping people build wealth through real estate, and one of our favorite ways to do that is through a strategy called house hacking. And while my wife and I have done numerous house hacks over the years, I'm the first to admit that it is not for everyone. So in this video, we'll answer some of the most common questions that we get regarding house hacking, which, simply put, is purchasing a small multi-family property like a duplex and living in one of the units and renting out the rest. So the first question is, why would I want to house hack? Well, most people are looking to house hack in an effort to own property for a smaller monthly out-of-pocket expense. House hackers can often reduce their housing payment by around 50% compared to owning a similar single-family home. All right, so we get a lot of questions about dealing with tenants. So we get asked things like, well, won't I get stuck with a tenant that I can never get rid of? We get asked, what do I need to know about rent control? So, ending up with a tenant that you don't get along with is a very common fear, and a real fear amongst house hackers. And with tenant protection laws now in effect throughout the state of California, it can be challenging to part ways with tenants. And this is why the tenant selection process is so crucial, so that you can mitigate that risk as much as possible. I also highly recommend including a landlord-focused attorney on your team, and be sure to defer to their advice, especially if there's a dispute. Though for vacant units, you can choose your tenant. You'll need to be aware of anti-discrimination laws in housing, and also that you must not reject applicants because they're using Section 8 vouchers. As far as rent control goes, you need to know that it does exist, and it will likely impact you during your career as a landlord. The current movement in the Bay Area is for continued expansion of rent control. And here in Oakland, we have some of the most restrictive rent control ordinances, which generally apply to house hackers as well as a typical landlord. And rent control will be limiting how much rent can be increased each year. The best place to get information is to contact your city's rent board, which will provide for the allowable increases, the exemptions, the required notices, and most everything else you'll need. That is, except for leases. Generally, the local rental housing associations are the best place to find good leases. And here in Oakland and Berkeley and surrounding areas, it's the East Bay Rental Housing Association that I point people to. Because leases are legal contracts, it's a good idea to get any lease that you use approved by your attorney. All right, the next question also is related to tenant relations, and that is, what if a tenant damages my property? Well, we once had a tenant maliciously flood 3 units the night before she was being evicted for months of non-payment. It sucks, it really does, and it occupies a lot of time and a lot of mind share, and could cost a lot of money. Now, insurance helped us in that last case. It was actually a vandalism claim. However, insurance isn't always there to save the day. So, collecting a security deposit can help self-insure against damage. That gives you some funds to work with in case of damage, whether it's purposeful or not. And whether you have a security deposit or not, it's still a good idea to have reserves on hand. These reserves, money reserves, come in handy for damage like this, like the question alludes to, but also comes in handy for other unexpected repairs, replacements, like a faulty water heater or stove or some other appliance. And speaking of unexpected expenses, don't let business fees and taxes be one of those. Rental income is taxable income, so good bookkeeping is key so that you can offset as much of that income as possible with deductions, such as mortgage interest, property taxes, repairs, maintenance, utilities, and my personal favorite, depreciation. That last one, that's the ability to write off the value of the asset over its useful life. Now, I won't get into specifics here, yet generally it can add up to thousands of dollars in write-offs each year. And some cities, like here in Oakland, they require landlords to pay some sort of business fee. Some places it's a flat fee per unit, and others, like here, it's a percentage of your gross rents that you collect. Additionally, you may have to file with your local rent board, like Oakland's rent adjustment program. Though the city's ordinances show an exemption for rent adjustment program for owner-occupied duplexes and triplexes, the administrators of that program don't appear to take heed. Our next question is about the purchase itself, and that is, how will house hacking impact my ability to qualify for financing? And the answer is, it really depends. If you're purchasing a single family home with an in-law unit or rooms that you're planning to rent out, it generally doesn't impact your financing qualifications at all. However, if you're house hacking a duplex or a triplex or other multifamily property, lenders will generally allow you to use rents in the units that you will be renting to help you qualify for that loan. And that ability to add rental income to help qualify has made huge impact on several of our past clients and current house hackers. In one case, instead of feeling financially stretched in the purchase of a $600,000 single family home, our clients were able to comfortably purchase an $800,000 duplex and ultimately spend less money each month on their housing payment. Now, it is possible that looking at house hacking may change your required down payment on your purchase. Single-family homes and condos generally have more types of loans available to them, especially at lower down payments. Most commonly for duplexes and triplexes, buyers are putting 20% down, though there is still a very relevant low down payment program for multi-unit buildings. We've had several clients purchase duplexes with an FHA program with only 3.5% down. All right, one more question, and that is, the property I'm considering for house hacking is currently fully occupied by tenants. Can I get rid of them? Well, let me point you straight to an attorney to answer that question more completely. But the short answer is, often you can, but it's more complicated than it may seem. Owners are generally allowed to evict tenants from a unit that they intend to occupy, though many jurisdictions require a payment be made to that tenant to help with relocation. Additionally, if the tenant is elderly or disabled or otherwise part of a protected class, they may be protected from the eviction that you'd like to perform. So, like I said, go consult your attorney. All right, so that covers the most commonly questions that we get asked. Do you have any questions that we missed, or have any ideas on how you would handle some of the issues we talked about? Let us know in the comments below. And if you're looking for more real-world tools on how to get started house hacking, come check out our live upcoming house hacking classes offered in both Oakland and San Francisco. And there we'll walk you through multiple examples and answer your questions and even provide some free food and snacks and goodies. You can find the link to our next class in the description below. And finally, if you liked this video, hit that like button, share it with your friends, and be sure to subscribe. I'm Joe Dickerson with the Joe Dickerson Group at Keller Williams Realty. Thank you so much for watching.